Hello and welcome, I'm DDF Racer, and today I'm going to try something that sounds ridiculous, but could actually turn out to be amazing. Maybe, hopefully. In a recent video I tried out the new laser scan version of the Nordschleife for rFactor 2 and absolutely loved it. That was driving the McLaren Senna GTR and the Aston Martin GTE though, neither of which I would say that I particularly enjoyed. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you'll know that I love the Tatuus USF-17 car. Always seems to generate some exciting racing, and it is an absolute blast to drive. So, why not combine the two?
P5, the air temp is 20 Celsius. Are you ready?
Okay, so here we are. Ready to go, waiting for the green lights to start the race.
Green, green, green.
No green lights for us, just 5 red lights which immediately turn themselves out. We make a decent start.
Still there.
As we're heading down towards the first corner and outside.
Keep your line.
Take it nice easy on the brakes, give the AI a wide line because they are prone to the dive bomb.
You are clear on the right.
As is expertly demonstrated there by the car ahead of us.
Car right.
So we seem to make a decent start.
Right side's clear.
But we end up exactly where we started, back in 5th position.
On your left. Clear left.
Ooh, someone behind us is trying to make a sneaky move. We shut the door on them. There's the 2 cars ahead of us getting a little bit of a wiggle on. And we hold our position in 5th, make it through the first few corners relatively drama-free. And begin the first of 3 laps here. Now you may be thinking 3 laps doesn't sound like too much. And you'd be right normally, but we are actually running the combined version of the Nordschleife and Nürburgring today in rFactor 2, which is one of the longest circuits available. Takes about 8 minutes 40 to complete a lap in this car.
Air and track temperatures are rising. Air temp is now 25. The track
You
temperature
go
is
up the
now
inside, heading
25
into the fast chicane.
Celsius.
Have to scrap a bit of the speed
Keep
off on
this
the
line,
apex.
clear right.
Ah, he gets us around the outside. There's no way I was going to keep that flat. Just have to hand him the position back to avoid contact. Live to fight another day. But yeah, driving the USF-17 car, started in 5th position, briefly made it up to 3rd, and now we're back in 5th again, but we've lost track of the cars ahead of us a little bit. Now I do want to pre-warn you, the AI is a little bit sketchy through the chicane. I think Pseudo 397 has still got a little bit to work out, so I'm fully expecting to see a few people on the grass. There's contact ahead of us. We're going to capitalise from that.
Yellow flag, sector 1.
Clear right.
Unsafe rejoin there. That AI doing his best Sebastian Vettel impression. But somehow
Sector 1 is clear.
we managed to get through there with just the minor scratch as Mr. Spotter confirms the damage is minimal. We're now to 3rd position, chasing after 2nd ahead of us. Looks like the leader's bolted a little bit down the road, and we're under pressure from what looks like our teammate in the mirrors in the bright yellow car. Knock it down to 2nd a little bit unnecessarily there. So we now head on to the Nordschleife part of the circuit as opposed to the GP Nürburgring part of the circuit. And you can see the walls have closed in, the runoff disappeared, the track is now so narrow. Every mistake is going to be punished. Every single little mistake is going to be punished. So we have a little confidence lift through here. And we close upon the car ahead of us. Now, there's nothing I can do with the gear ratios in this car. The setup is pretty much fixed with regards to that, so it's going to get rather awkward as we start to bounce off the limiter in 6th gear. Slipstream can only do so much. Everybody reaches top speed, and that's about it. So, just winks as the engine gets put under a lot of strain. Anyway, heavy on the brakes, down into 3rd gear, chuck it in, and back on the accelerator again as we head down the hill towards the compression. Keeping in touch nicely with 2nd place ahead of us. You want to try and avoid taking the curbs too much around here.
Gap 2 down in front is now 0.7.
Especially the taller ones. As they rule, throw the car wide.
On your right.
Woo.
He's still with you.
Get all kinds of sideways going
Still
through there.
Clear on the right.
Somehow managed to hold on to it, but we've got a hell of a train behind us now. We are a little bit of a cork in a bottle. Had to do some recovery rally style driving to keep that on the track. Just lost the rear. Took a little bit too much speed going in over the top of the hill. And the rear of the car just wanted to overtake the front, which is not really what it's supposed to happen. somehow held on to third place though. We have started to lose touch with second ahead of us. Now there's quite a lot of variation in the lap times around here with it being such a long lap. And lots of potential for mistakes as well. So I'm fully expecting the AI to make a silly mistake or two towards the end of the lap, and maybe we can get some of that time back.
The guy behind, the gap's now 1.5 seconds.
Even if we're not necessarily the fastest car around here. And this USF-17 is an absolute blast to drive around the Nordschleife. Seriously guys, it's just... I can't remember who posted it on my Discord, but they're an absolute genius. I'll flash it up on the screen right now so you can see, but seriously, such a great combination because this car has got so much grip. So much grip. You can really attack. Unlike some of the GT and road cars around here where you're just constantly holding on the throttle, waiting and waiting and waiting. With this you can just throw it in, stamp the throttle, and you know it's going to stick, and you can catch your mistakes as well. Yeah, rather expertly demonstrated a few minutes ago. Now this part of the track is deceptively uphill. The car is struggling to build speed in sixth gear. So I have to flat shift it down to fifth as we go through the left-hander there, just to build up a little bit more speed again, otherwise the car will bog too much in sixth. Just out of slipstream range of the car ahead. Otherwise we would have gained a little bit. Heading in towards this, the carousel. A very clumsy part of the track. This USF-17 car doesn't like the banking, so I'm going to avoid it. You can see the AI are taking it, but it's definitely not the fastest way for me to take it around here. It's just way too bumpy, I just lose way too much time. And onwards with the lap. Now this is where it really comes alive. Because of the grip you've got here, you can just chuck it in. So we've got someone off ahead of us.
Watch out.
Freebie.
Sector 2 is clear.
Freebie.
It looks like Adams and Tam have gone off.
Told you the AI would be making mistakes. And we're now up to second place in this race, although we've got a little bit of gap to first place ahead of us. Is about 6 seconds down the road. So much grip here though guys, so much fun. This is not going to be so frustrating in a road car. Just waiting for the front end to grip. But the aerodynamics are really helping this USF-17 go around, he says as he runs wide onto the grass on the outside there. This deceptively slow left-hander, you really got to tuck it in because it tightens up on the apex.
The gap to Tam behind is now 1.5 seconds.
And now hold on, give it a little tap of the brakes. Otherwise you will be doing a Mark Webber over the top of that crest, as the air likes to get underneath the car and flip the nose. I may or may not have done that in a practice attempt earlier on guys. Not much fun in VR, I can tell you that. Doesn't do your stomach any good. This corner is so much flat out. So much more flat out than you would normally expect. And then it's completely counteracted by the second carousel. You have to really kill the speed here as he just wants to spit the car at the other side. We lose a heap of time to the cars behind us there. They've now closed up to half a second, but hey. That's just the ebb and flow of the Nordschleife. But this is possibly the worst position to be in because we're now dragging him along the straight. He's well and truly in the slipstream and he's probably going to go for the move if he knows what's best for him.
Sector 2 is clear.
Although the AI in rFactor 2 doesn't always do what's best for them. Now they're holding station. And we're going to reach our...
Use all the track, force him to find the gap.
We're going to use our VMAX. We're going to reach 250 pretty soon. We're coming up to the top of the hill now. I'm going to crest it. There's a heap of cars behind us. They're all pulling each other along in the slipstream, but they can't do anything about it because they've reached the top of the revs. We head back down the hill. You can hear it buzzing off 6th, and we're going to have to pick a braking point for the final chicane. And hopefully the right braking point. That will do nicely. And believe it or not, that is the first lap here at the Nordschleife. Heading on to the second of 3. Somehow made it up to second position from 5th.
Come on, you're looking good for a podium. P2.
It's a hell of a gap to the car ahead of us though. It's going to take a lot to close that up. Oh, as we're running a little bit wide.
He's still there. Right side's clear.
Just gifting second place to the AI there.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Tam.
That wasn't part of the plan. Just missed my braking point completely, and I'm doing it again. Oh, I lost a heap of time there. Still in touch though. Plenty of chances left to get him back. Oh, way too wide.
Car on your right.
Incident in Sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow.
Just seem to have lost all the grip in the car.
I think P6
Now
has
side
gone
by
off.
side, heading down to the hairpin.
He's still with you.
See if we can hold him around the outside.
Still there.
Can use the
Right
banking.
side clear.
Maybe get the cut back and use that to our advantage. Oh, he's going to go defensive and put us on the outside into the fast Schumacher
Still
chicane. This is not a place you normally want to go
Still
side by
there.
side.
You're clear on the
Ah,
left.
Green flag Sector 1.
I'm going to back out of and give him the place. Did not want to end the race there. I don't want to end the race anywhere, to be honest, but specifically not there. We've now slipped back down to 4th position. And we've got a gap of about 5 seconds to the car
Air and
behind.
track temps are falling.
So we
Air
should be
temperature's now
safe, but I really
23.
do want to
Track temp is now 23
really want to make some
Celsius.
progress. Cut the chicane slightly. Obviously it's the high-speed version of the chicane that isn't used on the normal circuit of the Nürburgring. And back onto the Nordschleife for the second time. Such an amazing track. I know I've already said this so much, guys, but this is so much fun. It really is. I had a go here in one of my recent videos, driving the McLaren Senna GTR car, the replacement for the LMP1,
Sector 1 is yellow.
the LMHC class, and the Aston Martin
Green flag Sector 1.
the Aston Martin GTE. Neither of which were particularly enjoyable around the track, although the track itself shone. Driving the USF-17, just favourite car, and just an incredible circuit. It's just such a it shouldn't work. It really shouldn't work. It's just such a good combination. Ooh, clogged the curb a little bit on the inside there. We've lost touch with 3rd ahead of us. It was a bit of a scruffy start to the lap, unfortunately. I'm sure we can make that back up in no time. The gap to the lead is now to about 15 seconds, so yeah, the AI is very good around here. If a little prone to mistakes every now and then. So all we've got to do is hold it in place and see what we can get. Now, of course, this is an excellent addition to rFactor 2 by Studio 397. The level of detail is just incredible. Laser scanned version of the track, of course, probably one of the best you can get in sim racing at the moment. But it's not free, and rightly so. The amount of work that must have gone into this is just insane. But I can assure you it's worth every single unit of currency of your country, wherever you are in the world. However much it's worth, it's worth every single penny or every single cent. It just has a feeling like no other, especially in VR. The immersion is just insanely good. The scenery is just next level. The road, every bump in the road has been modelled. And you can feel every bump as well. I can't even begin to imagine what this must be like on a motion rig. Although it does require an immense amount of concentration. So I'm struggling to keep some even remotely interesting commentary going at the same time as trying to drive fast. So I'm losing touch with the car ahead ever so much now. Gap behind is safe though, which is always nice, takes the pressure off a little bit.
Air and track temps are decreasing. Air temperature's now 21. The track temperature is now 21 Celsius.
And again, we head up the straight just out of slipstream range. It would be so good to have a slipstream here. It's very, very deceptively uphill. The car just struggles in 6th. I can't remember how much horsepower this engine has. It's certainly not enough to deal with this part of the track. Flat shifted down to 5th again. Use the revs to pull us round. And heavy on the brakes. The cold brakes, of course. Very conscious of locking up the tyres. No ABS on this car. There's absolutely nothing to save you from getting a flat spot. Apart from your left foot, of course. Just avoid the inside of the carousel there. We lose a bit more time. But at least we do make it through in one piece.
The gap in front has increased to 3.1 seconds.
Oh, I absolutely love this. Such a good combination.
Sector 2 is yellow.
Oh, we got another crash ahead of us. It's a big one. The rear wing's gone.
Green flag, sector 2.
And that's another person off ahead of us. So we're up to P3. Looks like P2 ahead of us. Looks like the AI are consistently having trouble with that corner on the track. Something to keep in mind for next lap. It's always getting all kinds of sideways again. Just when it was starting to look like a bit of a lonely race, it's all come back towards us. It's nowhere over yet, guys. Up there. I totally can't concentrate.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
By no means is it over yet. That's what I'm trying to say. A little bit wide. Get the understeer. Crest over the top of the hill and back down again. Try not to hit too much curb.
Green flag, sector 2.
Try not to take off as well. Onwards with the lap. We're a lot closer than we've ever been. We might be picking up a cheeky little slipstream here.
Sector 2 is yellow.
Which is exactly what we want heading onto the straight. If we can just nail these next few corners, we might be in touch. We might be able to get them down the humongously long back straight. But that does require getting through carousel number 2 without any incident.
Sector 2 is clear.
Which is easier said than done as the car ahead of us goes for a spin.
Car on your left side. You are clear on the left.
It sends us for a spin as well. I thought I was going to avoid him.
There's a guy on your right. Right side's clear.
Of course it's only an AI, so I can't really get mad.
Sector 2 is yellow. Okay, Dan, the next car is Adams.
But when you're rolling across the track backwards,
P6 has been
what you should be doing is hitting the brakes. I thought I was safe on the outside. But these USF-17 cars,
Sector 2 is clear.
they're made of stronger stuff. So it looks like we can actually live and fight another day without too much damage to the rear suspension. Looks good, still drives in a straight line, that's all we can ask for really. There's a guy behind his pressuring goes, that's 5th place, and ahead of us is 2nd and 3rd, so we have dropped down a couple of spots, but
the leader's just done at 8:37.5 seconds.
Has been expertly demonstrated so far here at the Nordschleife. Mistakes and accidents do happen, so it's by no means over. Pick a braking point, into the final chicane again, and floor it for
Sam has retired from the race.
one more lap here at the Nordschleife.
Angelo has just retired.
Looks like P2 and P3 going side by side ahead of us.
Should be about 2 laps of fuel left. Yellow flag sector 2, P4. That was at 8:55.3 seconds. We think that Sund has binned it.
Right side.
AI going for the cheeky
Clear
dive bomb
right.
around the inside again to turn 1. It's easy
Green
just to
flag
give them the
sector 2.
position.
Dan, come on mate, defend your position.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Car in front is Forvel.
I'm trying, Mr. Spotter, but they do send it. They do like to lip the stamp and send it. Lose all kinds of grip on the rear there. We're now back down to 5th. Exactly where we began this race. But for the first time we do actually get that corner right, so that's a bonus. And we can visibly see 4th, 3rd and 2nd ahead of us. Going into the corner too hot there. Have to get a little bit wiggly. Try and keep it on the island. I'm just pushing a little bit too hard now. Of course, I am very familiar with this part of the track.
Yellow flag, watch out. Sector 1 is clear. We can see Wendleton has gone off.
Oh, the leader is miles down the road. Almost to the tune of 30 seconds, so that's not going to happen. But we could get second if all goes well. Just need to put in an absolutely stonking lap here. Seems like this race is going on forever. Again, there's more grass being kicked up by the AI ahead of us as they run wide out of the chicane. But they somehow managed to keep it all together in one piece. Whoa, so much concentration here.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Green flag sector 1. It looks like Simplicio has been dead. Watch the track limits.
Stupid mistake. Just ran a little bit too wide.
We're seeing some minor aero damage.
Yep, I think there's definitely damage on the car. Just didn't want to turn then again. Slight graze of the barriers on both instances. Like I said, these USF-17s are made of sterner stuff, so managed to get away with it. But we've lost touch of the cars ahead, and I think there is a little bit of steering damage now, unfortunately. I'm going to continue, because anything can happen.
Yellow flag sector 1.
Absolutely anything can happen.
We think Jimenez has gone off.
And also because it's just such an absolute pleasure to drive. If you are enjoying the race so far, guys, if you're liking what you see, this absolutely crazy combination of USF-17 and Nordschleife, and don't forget to leave the video a like.
The next car is Adams.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what kind of racing you'd like to see next.
Sector 1 is clear.
And if you want to see more, then just press that big old red subscribe button and press that notification bell. And then you'll get a nice little alert every time I upload a video.
Incident in sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow.
Schedule a live stream or even go live as well.
Green flag sector 1.
And if you enjoy the content on this channel, why wouldn't you want to know that, eh? That's my question. Anyway, onwards with the race. Let's see what we can salvage. Gonna get my head down for a bit. Let you guys turn the volume up and enjoy the sounds of the engine as I really try and focus on every single apex with this battered and bruised USF-17 car. See what I can pull together. Turn the volume up, guys. Enjoy the sounds. Code Brown. Code Brown did very well to keep on that. That's another clench moment. Brought to you by DDF Racer. And what that does do is kill our speed all the way down this straight. Aspiring sim racer who had so little hope left loses last little bit of hope he didn't even know he had. As it looks like P4 is about 6 seconds down the road now. The only way we're going to make any progress here is by mistakes on the other car's behalf. I mean, you never know. Never say never. But you can't really plan the result of your race based on someone else screwing up. You've always got to try and do the best you can do, and then just the results will fall into places they're meant to be. And the first time this race, we actually go through that corner with no yellow flags. No one's span out. We can actually attack it at full speed.
Sector 2 is yellow. Looks like P6 has gone off.
Well, the cars behind us are having accidents left, right and centre, so that's not really going to help us too much, apart from take the pressure off.
Sector 2.
Hug the curb, hug the inside, without actually attacking the curb, and upset the balance of the car.
Yellow flag sector 2. Sector 2 is clear. It looks like Jameson and Dixon have spun off.
We're now approaching the end of the third lap here, of what has been an absolutely grueling race. Non-stop concentration. And although it may not have been the most exciting race for you guys to watch,
Sector 2 is clear.
I can assure you I am drained. Wow. So heading towards the end of the lap now. Scrub off the speed, hold it nice and tight, and then we go through second carousel. Have we got any victims this time round? No, looks like everyone's made it through safe, rather frustratingly. And I doubt anyone's going to make a mistake down the back straight unless we have an engine failure, or into the final chicane unless someone goes for a last lap lunge. So I guess all we can do really now is just pin the accelerator and just sit here and reflect upon what we've experienced here today. An absolutely amazing car. The Tatuus USF-17 for rFactor 2. Can't recommend it enough, guys. I really can't. And this Nordschleife is just wow. I can see myself doing so many more races here, so many more laps. I just want to take every single car. It's actually kind of annoying that Jimmy Broadbent does have a monopoly on the Nordschleife Hot Lap series, because that's something I would very much enjoy doing, although I probably wouldn't be able to get away with broadcasting it or filming it because it's, well, you guys have already seen it. Anyway, through the final chicane, as we approach the checkered flag, pop it into 6th gear,
P5, that's it, we're done.
and we finish exactly where we are starting. Because that's good English. We finished exactly where we started the race. My brain is gone. My brain is absolutely gone. Mr. Spotter didn't sound too impressed with that either, unfortunately. Oh, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that race. I really do. Because that was grueling. That was grueling to record and put together. If I told you that was my first attempt, you couldn't call me a bigger liar. So this is probably the 5th or 6th attempt, with a combination of crashes with the AI, mistakes on my behalf, and technical problems with rFactor 2. I finally did it. Finally managed to put 3 laps around the Nordschleife together in the USF-17. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more. I think I'm going to go and jump straight into an ice cold shower. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Take care of yourselves.